Great.
Good morning, everyone. It is Jen Norlin, and I wanted to come on and talk to you a little bit. I'm in my kitchen. I am on puppy duty today. So my daughter got a new little puppy. He's sleeping down here by my feet. Um, but that's the change of scenery right now. Um, so today I wanted to talk with you about a side of manifestation that I think isn't addressed, at least not from the people that I have heard talk about manifestation or that I follow. And so this is um, something that, we know that life is all about energy, and you can feel it often. You can sense it often. It can come through in different ways depending on how you experience the energy around you, the energy of other people, the energy within you. And one of the things that I think people don't talk about when they talk about manifesting into your life the things that you desire and aligning with those energies, with those frequencies of what you want to bring into your life. As we start to change and shift our thinking, as we start to transform our experiences and really start to live on the higher frequencies of energy, as we dive into this spiritual journey while we're living in the physical world, something that I think we have to acknowledge is, like, before we learned this, before we knew this, before we started to step into these higher frequencies and start to understand ourselves more on an energetic level, there's things that are continuing to play out from our past. And, we often, and I know something that for me, my focus has become really to focus on creating into the future starting right now. And I've done a lot of work on the past and what I have brought, the lessons I have brought in, trying to release and let go of the things that don't serve me, that are the baggage that we carry forward. And I think that's really important to do as well. However, there are things that will continue to play out from the old. We're always manifesting, always, our entire life we're always manifesting. And when we do it on an unconscious level, and we create maybe patterns over and over, or situations over and over, relationships over and over, and we do that from not understanding how powerful we are to create our life. When we start to shift and change, those manifestations are still playing out in our life. And something that I think is a really great example of this is in relationships, especially in relationships where you have something in common moving into the future, like a divorce where you have kids together, or maybe it's family members, or maybe it's a work situation. And for instance, for me, it's been 14 years that I've been divorced. However, there's still been the need to have interactions, not necessarily direct interactions with my ex-husband. But we've got two girls together, and that's, it's really important to understand that that is something that will always be a common thread for he and I. And although it didn't go the way that I would have liked it to for the last 14 years, I still needed to sometimes just deal, sometimes, do things that I would rather have gone a different way. But that manifestation has continued to play out over 14 years of my life. And I think that what I've come to understand is that I have the power not to change the situation and that is still playing out and will always continue to be a part of my life, but how I deal with it has changed very, very much in the last 14 years. And, it's gone from a reactive, responsive to the things that are happening into more of a settling into, like, I know things are you can hear one of my daughter's other puppy is dreaming as he's sleeping. That's what you're hearing. But so I've been able to shift how I deal with things and how I see things and how I view things and how I respond to what comes of, whether it's court or attorneys or an interaction that my girls have had or whatever that may be. I'm in a very different place than I was 14 years ago. So while those old manifestations continue to play out, we have the ability to shift our perspective on them, to shift how we see them, to shift how we step forward in that relationship and that situation. And I think that's something that, like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about that side of manifestation. Like, we do have the ability to shift and create something different and transform the energies and the experiences that we've had into becoming a better person, into bringing the things into our life that we desire. And there are also the things that we that do continue to show up in our life. And I think it's important to acknowledge that, to realize that we still have the ability and the power over those things to create something different if that's what we desire. And you don't need the other person's input. You don't need the other person to buy in or to do anything different. It's all within. And that's the most important piece is learning that I get to create my experience of the world. And I still have to deal with things that maybe I'd rather not deal with. However, I get to choose how I step into that. So just a little bit of something I've been thinking about, something that has really helped me understand that I get to create into the future, and I get to choose how I take the things that have happened in my past, the things that I've learned from, the experiences that I've had, and how I get to move forward with those as well. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.